Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be playing Hashihime, is that how you pronounce it, of the Old Book Town. I low-key have no idea what this game is about, but a bunch of foojos on Twitter said it was good, so who am I to not trust their judgment? They haven't led me astray yet, so might as well get into it. Oh wow, became color. So cool. Wow, thanks, team. According to the man, is this gonna be the B-movie script? Oh, the Phantom lived in the basement. Night after night, he would kidnap someone, tie them to a cold chair, and tell them his questionable life story until the break of dawn. That doesn't sound like something a phantom would do. That sounds like something a depressed 30-year-old man would do. He spoke without passion or emotion. He spoke about himself as if speaking of someone else. Okay, dude. If I had to complain about one thing, it would be how cold the chair was. Seriously, that's what you would complain about? Not being tied to the chair in the first place? My second complaint would be that the man's story was boring. My third was that the man seemed to want my final opinion on it. Your story sucks, that's my opinion. Why would you want something like that? Because I'm the man. This is so corny. I'm sorry. I'm the Phantom. Up until a moment ago, I should have been looking out at the Shiodome River from Shinbridge. As soon as I realized I had been kidnapped, I started to understand why the chair was so cold. Seriously? You didn't realize you were kidnapped until, like, you get it now? He asked. Is this gonna load, or? But before I offered my opinion, I had one question. You should be asking why you're here anyways. When will the morning come? Oh, come on, nobody asks that when they're kidnapped. Once. Okay, red text. Okay, Umineko. Once I'm dawn. That has got to be the cheesiest line ever. What do you mean until you're dawn? Once I'm dawn. Are they like British or something and they meant done? Once I'm done. If the Phantom said it was night, it would become night. If he said it was morning, it would become morning. Well, that's weird. But once he did, it was no longer Japan, nor was it another world. It was a so-called world of illusions, with its own concept of time that the Phantom controlled. Wow, this is so interesting. This story begins with me. No duh. A man harboring obscure anxieties about the transient world, being detained by a curious and grotesque monster. Wow, he's just like me, for real. It's a miserable and beautiful story about me, finally clinging to life when faced with the genuine god of death. At least, it should have been. When he finished turning the last page, he tapped the now bare table with his middle finger. He seemed to be demanding something, or searching for something. It cut into the gramophone's brisk melody. At any rate, I could tell the behavior was out of disgust. I could see why! Why does bro look like that? What is this? Dude, why do the characters look exactly the same? Like, I had this thought when I was looking at the Steam page. Like, every character except one has, like, the same face, same haircut. It's like, I know this is set in, like, the early 1900s, but would it kill you to be more original? Be more creative? What is this? What is this? Without thinking, I blurted out the same thing. I'd expected his voice to be more full of praise and admiration. His reaction was somehow different from what I had imagined. Maybe I'd given him the wrong manuscript? Thinking that couldn't be possible, I took a peek. No matter how many times I looked it over, though, it was a story that I'd written, The Phantom in the Basement. That was your story? No wonder he was so disappointed. Is this how the story ends? No, I'll have more tomorrow. I can barely hear the dialogue. I'm sorry for speaking over them.
ああ、そう。君は不完全なものを見せたってわけか。
Show me something defective.
不完全とはひどい言い草だ。これは連載もののつもりであってだな。
Defective is a mean way to put it. You're a mean way to. Okay. Always blow out the tobacco smoke. Who's holding it? Oh, he's a smoker? Ew. An indescribable smile was waiting for me beyond the haze I parted.
何を笑っている。嫌なら返せ。
Okay, now I can hear the dialogue now, sorry.
いや、言いたいことはまだある。
I hate the way he's looking at me. Stop smirking like that. Kois. Is that how you pronounce it? Kawase? Whatever. I'll just say Kois. Kois pulled the manuscript towards himself and looked it over again. He traced over the last lines with his pinky finger over and over again in disgust. That's how I reacted too. When will the morning come? Once I'm done. So true! That's what I'm saying! Wait, it's supposed to be a pun? I used dawn for done. Oh, that's what I was thinking! The play on words. That's not a good play on words, you idiot. Cigarettes sprung up like a shishi odoshi and scattered ash all over the page. That was kind of rude of him, don't you think? As if that weren't enough, he snubbed the flame out of my manuscript. How dare he? That is too far. The flame burned through several pages before the smoldering sound stopped. He tilted his head in confusion when I immediately gathered up the manuscript pages. I hate his face. He's so ugly.
当たり前だろう。今回のは第1弾ってあってだな。第2弾、第3弾と連なって初めて完成するのだ。なのに。
I like the glasses guy. He's kind of real. Except he wrote a terrible story, so she'd own up to it instead of pretending like it's the best thing. Best story he's ever written. Okay. An impressive hole pierced right through the middle of the manuscript. When I glared at him through that small peephole, Kawas pulled out his wallet in annoyance. That's not the problem. That's not the problem, Kawase. He was like an old man flashing a mouthful of gold teeth. Even if you rebuild the crumbling enamel with gold or silver, they're still not the teeth you had to begin with. And yet, I wasn't such an ogre that I wouldn't take his feelings into consideration and try to settle things out of court, so to speak. An ogre? What is this guy waffling about? 3 yen? Take more pride in yourself, man. You can bump that number up to like 5 yen. High price? Oh, I forgot this is like the early 1900s, so like everything is outrageously cheap. Tamamori is stronger than me because I would be throwing hands with this ugly guy. What a thoroughly evil man. Evil and ugly. Choose a struggle. He was a devil. He most likely had no idea what sort of feelings I had put into this manuscript. Well, he certainly didn't put skill into it. You couldn't imagine just how planning, and more planning I put into each page with my hands, my eyes, and my heart. That's a lot of words for saying that your manuscript sucks. I faked a cough and let out a sigh. Yeah, you do have poor taste. It wasn't as if I had no talent. Are you sure about that, bud? There was no way I had no skill whatsoever. Are you sure about that? It was all Kawase's fault. He was an unfeeling, unemotional devil. He's so mad. Oh yeah, get him. Get him. Well, you certainly don't have an eye for beauty if that's how you dress every day. That's how you present yourself. There's no way. Sparkling gem. Didn't even recognize the value of the sparkling gem. What sparkling gem?
自分が何かの原石だって言いたいの？言い訳だけはしゃれてるね。
All your excuses. Oh, the boys
言
are
い訳など
fighting.
ではない。それによーくわかった。お前がどれだけつまらない人間かということがな。
This was the fourth time I'd asked Kawase for a critique. Dude, he's just gonna keep insulting your work. Why do you keep... Whatever. The first time, when I was nervous, he crumpled it up. The second time, when I was hopeful, he sent it flowing away on the river. And the third time, when I was fully prepared, he turned into a paper airplane and sent it flying away into the sky. Bro doesn't DGAF.
何を見せてもつまらない。何を聞いても退屈だ。もう難があるのは貴様の方としか思えない。
Yeah, maybe he's the problem.
本当に失礼なやつだな君は。俺だって心に響けば手を叩くし、感動できれば君を撫でてあげるよ。
A pat on the head? What is this guy? 50?
気持ち悪い。
So true.
ああ、早く君をワシャワシャしてあげる。
What? What is bro talking about? I want to ruffle that hair of yours soon. Who says that? What exactly are you trying to say with that deadpan voice? Things like that can make me flare up at him again and again. But unable to find the right words for a comeback, I swallowed my feelings. I was the one who asked the guy like this for critiques. I was the one who had brought it up, so there's absolutely no way I could back down. We do it right now, coward. Oh yeah, it was like 3 pages. Kawase said, tapping his wallet. His wallet? I bet he has like 10 yen in there. Bro is so extra for no reason. I do not like this guy so far. Protag's pretty neat though. I like his glasses. Plus his... I forgot the word for it. His inner thoughts are real. What an utterly vile man! Kawase lit his last match as he held a cigarette in his smirking mouth. Of course this ugly guy smokes. Perhaps my curses had worked, because it wouldn't light. Good! In the end, the head of the match broke off and rolled tragically away. Tragically? Huh. What is damp? Hmm. Okay. Kawase commented on the weather as he tossed the matchbox away. The thin glass distorted into the sky, making me worry even more about getting back. Felt as though the sound of the rain tapping against the window was telling me to hurry on home. Wow, I never would have guessed he said that. What do you want him to do? Eating and then running off. Yeah, that's how having lunch works, you idiot. True. Which one of us was being obnoxious now? Gathered up the remaining pages Kawase had read and discarded, then glared at him. Kawase brought his coffee to his now lonely lips, the corners of his eyes crinkling as he smiled crudely. One day, one of my stories will hit you so hard, you'll look positively drunk. When I thought that, I cracked a smile as well. Dude! What is this guy's problem? Ain't no way. Do not come to this guy's house. Me when I lie. Ew! This guy's giving me the ick. Oops, I accidentally pressed it too early. Soon. Our minor argument was suddenly drowned out by a deep rumbling, along with an eerie sound that seemed to be speeding right at us. It's the phantom! The ground shook violently. I was immediately thrown to the floor. Oh no, is it an earthquake up in here? Waitresses screamed. Ah! Plates broke. The window panes creaked. What is going on? Kawase spat out his coffee. Deserved. The moment I was flung from my seat, my manuscript scattered all over the place again. Not the manuscript. Anything but the manuscript. What? What? What had just happened? The roar grew distant, and the shaking gradually subsided. One page from my manuscript gently covered the top of my head. Wow, he's like an anime boy. Oh, duh. When I removed it and looked up at the ceiling, the chandelier, which was spinning around and around, made me dizzy. Then why is it sitting in place right there? Checkmate, liberals. The guests and waitresses fell silent. They all had the same look on their faces. Only the gramophone sang its jazz like it was completely unaware.
大きい車が通ったのか。
There is no way a car would make the whole place shake like that. Is he stupid? I think he's stupid. Stupid and can't write. 2 in 1.
バカか君。地震に決まってるだろ地震。
Idiot.
地震。こんなに大きいのは初めてだな。
Well, you guys are still living. Nothing to complain about, right?
そう。去年くらいから結構頻発してると思うけど。くそ。
Koase looked down at his chest and grieved for his uniform, which was damp with coffee. Ew. Wasn't all that bad. He could just wipe it off and let it dry on his own. But Kawase clicked his tongue dramatically. Okay, Diva.
今日は最
I regret
低
saying that.
最悪の日だ。
Today's the absolute worst. Okay, Drama King.
たかが服が濡れたぐらいでなんだ。
Yeah.
君の安い服とはわけが違う。
Broke people should never laugh.
巷じゃ服を汚すのが流行っているのだぞ。人の価値は服にあらず。本質
So
にあり。
true. He's kind of real with that.
外見より中身を。
What?
だったら裸になって自分の高潔性を示しなよ。
Dude, who would say that?
それが一番手っ取り早いが、法に触れるのは怖い。
Oh yeah, you should get naked. Who? This guy is ticking me off.
だろうね。結局君は慣習にとらわれない自分を見てほしいだけなんでしょ。
What is this guy's problem? Oh my
早速外
god.
見ににじみ出てる。
Why is it no?
ガトリング砲のような嫌味だな。
What kind of... Is it a simile or a metaphor? I low-key forgot. What kind of simile is that? Feeling as though I should back off from Kawase in his mood, I once again began to gather up my manuscript. Everyone in the earthquake-shaken cafe had calmed down and begun to move. Okay, so you admit it was an earthquake and not a giant car. I'm proud of you. Everyone, that was...
うわ、全然取れない。
What's not coming out? Oh, the coffee. The coffee, obviously.
くそ。
Except for Kawase.
汚れているようには見えないが。
Doesn't look stained to me. Okay.
君のメガネがすでに汚れている。
Dog! Why is he so ruthless? ... Just in case, I cleaned my glasses and took another look. Don't listen to his mean words, King. Your glasses are just fine. But I really couldn't understand what he was so upset about. Could black clothes be stained even blacker than they were to begin with? I guess his fussiness really was some kind of disorder. He has multiple mental illnesses and is banned from every public place. Even I wasn't stupid enough to fan the flames by trying to understand his pain. He's so broken, guys. As I started to quickly try to wrap things up here, a waitress made her way towards us. Hello, nurse, or hello, waitress. Oh, she's cute. What on earth is up with that voice, though? Sounds like a 10-year-old. No offense to the voice actor, but seriously, that voice with that face should be a crime.
何？
What the heck is this? Whoa. She bowed, then fell to her knees and began to eagerly wipe off Kawase's uniform. Her pink handkerchief turned a faint coffee brown. If I could guess why she was doing this, And the actual person she was doing it to must have realized the waitress's feelings for him already. Huh. I wondered what Kawase would do. Well, pointless either way.
おい君、あのだな。
やめてくれ汚いから。
No duh.
そうだ。大事な手ぬぐいが汚れてしまう。だからあんまりその男には。
いいんです。汚れてもいいんです。この手ぬぐいはおばあちゃんが刺繍してくれた大切な手ぬぐいです。けど
Don't stain your grandmother's handkerchief with that idiot guy's coffee stain. Ugh. Oh, that's a cute handkerchief. But that's barely even a stain. What do you mean it turned coffee brown? That's like salmon colored. Oh, there was red flower blooming on it. That's
全体
cute.
のいえ、あなた様のお召し物にシミがついては
This voice sounds familiar actually, but
君が汚い。
I'm saying you're dirty. Eh?
知らないババアが触れた手。
Old woman!
なおさら嫌だ。
What is wrong with this guy?
おばあちゃんの話は嘘です。私が縫いました。
Me when I spread misinformation in a restaurant. How cunning. It was like she knew she could attach some kind of sentimental value to a simple handkerchief just by starting off with, "It's my grandmother's." However, that only infuriated Kawase even more. What is this guy's deal? Would it kill him to not be a hater for 1 second? Hey, day 2, no hating. Give it up, everybody. Drip, drip. Kawase poured his remaining coffee over the waitress's head. Seriously, dude? She trembled and let out a delayed yelp.
上級は上級らしく奉仕したら。
Dog. I hate this type of guy the most. I really do. I really do.
ご奉仕
On the
です
house.
か？
You have like 3. Dude, it's like
見てわか
1
んない
yen. You
の？
could pay that
コ
easily.
ーヒーがこぼれたんだ。この店の大
Dude!
はお前だよ。おかわりくらい黙って提供してほしいね。
He should be a waitress instead. Put him in the uniform. Make him get coffee for this lovely lady. The waitress was dumbfounded by his stone-cold eyes. So are we! She probably never thought the person she admired would ever treat her this way. She was in for a rude awakening. Normally, I would have kept quiet and ignored them, but today I found my eyes wandering nervously.
聞いてる？
No! No, my Shayla! Kawase said, grabbing the waitress's hair and turning her ear towards him. She did nothing wrong. She was just trying to help, but this guy's rude for no reason.
川瀬
I'll protect you, random waitress. I'll protect you.
前
Get
々から
behind
こ
me.
の髪も気に入らなかったんだ。
Dude, what is
Bust
wrong
up the
with her
whole
hair
thing.
now? Dude is just an elite hater. Naturally, everyone in the cafe was focusing their gazes on us. Fight, fight, fight. The other waitresses were paralyzed with fear in the back, and even the timid chef made a rare appearance. Or are we going to see the chef? What a mess. I like this cafe's food. Now it would be awkward to come here. Yeah, it's all this guy. What?
わかりました。今すぐコーヒー
Girl, you cannot be serious! The waitress should have been in shock, but her eyes were sparkling. Why? Girl, you could do so much better than that creep! When Kawase let go of her hair, she went off to grab him another coffee with quite the spring in her step. Good for her, I guess, but she should raise her standards. When she regrouped with the other waitresses, they went back to their lively chatter. It was like nothing happened, but stuff did happen! Don't ignore that! She pressed the handkerchief Kawase had touched to her nose and ended up sharing its smell with the other servers. What? What is this game even about?
ああ、これが一番着慣れてたんだけどね。
What a stupid woman. What a stupid guy right in front of me.
なぜだ
My genuine reaction.
何？
Oh, her hair wasn't even dirty. He's just a hater.
なぜなのだ。
Mori is stronger than me. So stronger than me. I would have punched him in the next week by now.
だから何が
Oh my God, shut up.
なぜお前中心に世界が回るのだ。
So true.
君はあんなに好かれて嬉しいの
Are you serious, dog?
嬉しいとか嬉しくないとかそういう問題ではなくてだな。ああ、もういい。
Ugh. Shouldn't be able to get away with his obvious, oblivious tyranny. If he'd been a politician, he would have been the target of scrutiny. If he'd been a soldier, he would have been called a rebel. Okay, rebel. Kawase was forgiven. He should not be forgiven. We should throw a giant boulder at him for his crimes. That must have been the luck he was born with, but what annoyed me even more was that he himself didn't seem to derive any joy from his own selfishness. We should kill him. We should kill him. Noticing my unamused gaze, the malicious smile returned to Kawase's face.
ところで早く帰らないとまずいんじゃない雨
I thought you said running back was like bad thing to. I forgot what he said. I'm sorry.
言われなくとも帰る。
Yeah, dude. I remembered my manuscript. This is like the 5th time you remembered your manuscript. Just give it up. Your manuscript sucks. Gathered it up and tapped it against the table to straighten it out. Okay. Kawase's terrible move was improving. It is? I could not tell. Perhaps he was finally giving up on his uniform.
それにしてもおかしな場所でんだよな君が働くメバチ堂って
What's wrong with the bookstore now?
んまあ、もう慣れた。
さすが君も君ってやつだね
Of course, that's the kind of guy you are. Okay.
おい、どういう意味だそれは。
変人同士お似合いって意味だよそれじゃあね
Dude, you're the weirdo.
玉森君
Stuff like this would not fly today. Protag is like the most normal person in the story so far. Even that waitress is kind of weird. I'm sorry, women. No offense to all the women out there. Waitresses, don't listen to me. Cover your eyes. I mean, ears. Whatever. That damn wannabe editor. Yeah, map jump scare. Who the heck are you? Oh, that's a Protag? I'm sorry. What is this guy? 2 years ago, we came to the capital from the countryside of Aizu. What is this now? Kawase and I have been together for as long as I could remember. So he's something like a childhood friend. You willingly put up with this guy for years? You would think he'd be nicer too. Jeez. Long ago, we would often play by the mountain streams. We'd fish, catch bugs, and laugh together. Oh, he's so deprived of joy now. Bet you can't even do that with him anymore. I say laugh together, but Kawase had that same finicky personality even back then. Why were you even friends with him? He's like the most infuriating person ever. So he wouldn't touch the fish he caught. Let all the bugs he kept die. Okay, no, that's too far. Not the bugs. Anyway, he was a fussy man. Yeah, we could tell. That's why what I thought was fun and what he thought was fun. He probably likes watching paint dry. That's his idea of fun. Probably completely different. People were generally shocked when I talked about our relationship. They joked, friends today, enemies tomorrow. For better or worse, he and I were complete opposites. Ugh. Like me, Kawase was flexible. How? He's flexible by pouring that cup on that poor waitress's hair? Unique. Special. A genius. Didn't you just say he had a disorder? He has multiple mental illnesses. My writing, like the piece from earlier, had the power to captivate people. And yet Kawase's true nature, like what he had shown the waitress in me, was pitch black. The reason we could hurl our insults at each other and still hang out together could be summed up in a few words. We were childhood friends. That's a load of... The streetcar, which is running a little behind schedule, finally came. Oh god, it's the evil shadow demons. Ah! Oh my god, it's the phantoms! They're gonna tie me to a chair! Suddenly pushed in, I was forced to stand in the corner of the car. The rain was coming down hard now, making the midday sky dim. It was a cold rain. I wondered how long this year's rainy season would last. Someone once said, instead of asking the rain in the sky, ask the cat. Who would say that?
What?
Ah, cats. So true. Not enough people say that. Animals. Speaking of animals, that guy Kawase is a total animal. Total nut job. Streetcar went from Honda Bridge to Jimbocho via the Nishikicho riverside. Smoky fragrance gently wafted by when I jumped from the streetcar. It was the unique atmosphere that drifted through the old town of Jimbocho. Used bookstores here and there were closing up their shops because of the rain. My God, so many bookstores. There's only like one bookstore in my area, and it's like so sad because I want more books. Customers were driven out in groups. The shopkeepers were indifferent to them only during times like this. Customers without umbrellas had no choice but to find a place for cover other than under the eaves? What the heck is an eave? Overflowing with sighs, they ran through the old book town. No freaking way, that's like the title of the game. This truly was our Hashihime of Old Book Town. I was in a hurry, but not because I wanted to get out of the rain. There was a reason I needed to get back to the shop right away. Is that the shop? Wow. The shop is called Umbachido. I probably butchered that name so bad. I'm sorry. Located on the outskirts of the old book town. This is seriously the old book town? If it was woke, it'd be called something like New iPhone Town. New iPhone Town is a great name. It was an iron building that at first glance didn't appear to be a used bookstore. It was a mysterious building that looked more like a nobleman's storehouse or a bank's treasury. That is not a bank's treasury. Well, 1900s were different, I guess. I leaned my umbrella against my shoulder and opened the doors using both hands and an abundance of force. We only opened shop during gloomy or rainy weather like this.
店主、ただいま戻りました。
Oh, and gee, there's a boss.
はい。
Okay. Why is he so nonchalant? He's just a chill guy. Shopkeeper gave me a small nod from behind the shoji. He coughed a few times and seemed to be turning over in his bed. Why is there a bed in the middle of the shop? The shopkeeper said he suffered from an illness. Wow, like a disorder? That's why, in an effort to be as considerate as possible, I kept myself from hurrying as I headed up to the second floor. I'm not used to talking this much. I'm sorry if I sound terrible. I burst into my room, stumbled, walked over the futon never put away, and jumped towards the fishbowl. Dang, dude, he lives like this? Look at all the crumbled stuff on the floors! And what the heck are those posters? My God, that poor fish in the fishbowl. It's just lonely. There's no grass or props or anything. What does it even do for the whole day?
金魚、
Oh, that is a very lovely fish. I have nothing bad to say about this fish at all. Goldfish. Did he seriously name this guy Goldfish? Are you serious? In the bowl was a goldfish swimming around in a huff. Thought he was creative, yet he can't even name a simple goldfish? I looked down at him and felt like I could finally breathe. What? Thank goodness. The animal I had remembered on the streetcar was this guy. What? I had been worried the earthquake earlier may have frightened him, but it didn't look like any water had spilled out. The bowl hadn't even moved. Apparently, Umbachido didn't just look sturdy. Huh. The water was cloudy. How could that happen? I guess I had been so engrossed with my manuscript over the past 3 days and nights that I haven't even thought about cleaning out his bowl. Ew! What are you doing with your life, man? This won't do, I thought as I grasped the goldfish tightly in my hand and scooped it out of the dirty water. Dude, at least put him in a cup or something! The goldfish writhed, gasping for air. Put him back! I know you're suffering, but please hang in there. Just put him in another cup, dude! Why? Why are you doing this? I threw the dirty water out the window and tossed the goldfish into the now empty goal. What is this guy doing? You'll have to suffer for just a little longer. Dude! No! I felt around the rain gutter above my head and pulled out the cork plug. What? Is there no sinks? As soon as they did, the rain that had fallen from the roof into the gutter drained into the fishbowl. That's one way of filling it up, I guess. You just have to suffer a little longer. Like, okay. Freed from gravity, the goldfish swam around peacefully. This whole game gonna revolve around this stupid goldfish? When does it get good? I plugged the rain gutter back up and was filled with the happiness at seeing my now content goldfish. It was just gasping for air earlier. How is it content so easily? A shadow suddenly flickered beneath the fishbowl. It's the Phantom! Oh my gosh, who the heck is that? When I moved the bowl, I saw a red umbrella looking up at me in shock. Who is that? That is a different guy? I thought that was Kawase! Dude, these characters all look the exact same. How am I supposed to tell them apart?
みなかみ、ちょうどよかったな。私も今帰ったところだ。
So he's just dangling the poor goldfish out of the window?
ちょうどよかった。
Oh, this guy can't stand him.
またお前の言う通り雨が降ったぞ。おかげでほとんど濡れずに済んだ。
I don't think he should be bragging about that when he's out there walking in the rain.
そうか。
どうした？なんだか元気がないな。
いや、金魚を素手で。
Yeah, Liv, that's what I'm saying. So he'd even see me doing that, huh? Well, yeah, you're like right out the
金
window.
魚屋の親父だってそうしてただろう。
Well, that's a strange old man then.
でもかわいそうだ。
Me too. I feel bad for it too. We are so much alike, random guy who only appeared a minute ago.
なんだ、私に文句があるのか。
I'm pretty sure everyone has a problem with it. Don't let PETA see this. PETA, the goldfish is here.
文句というか、金魚飼育
Oh
の
yeah, tell him how to properly take care of a goldfish.
金魚屋の親父がこれでいいと言ったからそうしたま
No!
で。
This guy is easily swayed.
いっぱい死んでただろ。
ああ
What the heck? This goldfish killer?
どうした？今日はやけに気が立ってるな。
You're all worked up today. ...
まるで。
You're being a tyrant like Kawase? What? How on earth is he a tyrant? He's trying to hide my bad mood, but he's seen right through me. How on earth is he a tyrant when he just doesn't know how to take care of a freaking goldfish? When my face suddenly fell, he immediately smiled. What? Why are all of these guys so weird? Then he twirled his umbrella and came into the shop.
真面目くさって。
Stick in the mud. Say what you want about my competitive nature, but I didn't want to be compared to Kawase. Yeah, if I was compared to that guy, I'd be throwing hands. I gave my goldfish a heap of food to console him, then went downstairs to where Minakemi was waiting. Like Kawase, Minakemi was another childhood friend from the same village and also a student at the Imperial University. Wow, that's a lot of books. Minakami unwrapped the cloth he had brought with him and pulled out some books. This is a bookstore. Why'd you bring books to a bookstore? Oh, he took a few and returned them to the shelf slowly enough to make me yawn. I was just daily scene with my chin resting in my hands.
適当でいいのだ、みなかみ。ここは目的があってくる場所じゃない。適当に眺め、適当に手に取る。それが梅鉢堂の面白さだ。
I don't know about you, him, but I always look for specific books, and then when I can't find them, I just look around at the whole place. It's probably just because neither I nor the shopkeeper wanted to go through the trouble of organizing. Wow, this guy's lazy. But wording it that way made it more novel.
そういうことだったのか。
Oh, open your
ヨシ
eyes.
屋の隣にルイコが並んでい
Seeing
るのを
who
見
next
て
to
から
who
こ
made
の
me
店は
think
お
the
か
shop
しい
is
と思っ
strange.
ていたが
Minakemi nodded in understanding as he continued to return the books to the shelf, his hands moving as if he were tracing constellations.
だからお前な
I'm telling you.
なあ玉森今気がついた
Kind
ん
of
だ
looks like
が
Soichiro from Idolmaster
Yeah,
Sidon, but without the little mole on his face. Maybe that's why I'm starting to like him so far. It's a Soichiro bias. It's not completely meaningless. I was not. Minakemi pointed toward the top shelf on the bookcase as if he found the planet Venus among the books. We don't know. He could have.
とほら例えばルイコの80万年後の社会の隣にはヨシ屋の花物語が並んでる本の題名順に並べられているんだ
They're arranged by popularity. That would be such a hassle to keep up. Finally stood up, grabbed the books from his hand, and shoved them onto the
考
shelf.
えすぎか
Yeah, you
ミ
are.
ステリー好きがコーチだなだが規範があるなら守るに越したことはない
Okay. I pulled out Kayusaku's Devil Heart, which Minakami had just put back, and went to return it to the top shelf. Or at least I tried to, but no matter how much I jumped, I couldn't reach. Has bro never heard of a stepladder? Were there even stepladders back then? It's not that hard to just stand on a box. Minakami nudged the spine with his hand and pushed it to the back of the shelf.
玉森はこっちを頼む
Okay.
まあ
All 5 books he had given to me went onto the bottom shelf. Before I could glare at him and tell him not to make fun of me, he looked back up. I reluctantly got on my knees and put away the books, following his lead.
結局3日間で何冊読んだんだ
20冊は借りたかな
20 books? Jesus! 20?
冊って
My genuine reaction. I hadn't even read that books this year. Any books this year? So true. He's just like
新
me.
作は入れたか
1ヶ月前から何も変わっていないぞ
A month? You make your customers bored? You make all your customers bored to death with that stale selection.
そうか
残念そうだなってまさかここに
That would be
全部読破
insane.
したのか
おそらくもうピンとくる題名はないから
Once Minakami had finished returning all 20 books he had borrowed, he bent back and looked along the shelves. Then he let out a distant sigh full of a sense of accomplishment.
4000冊あるんだぞ
4,000? And you read all of them? Are you serious?
何冊かすでに読んだことがあるものだったから実際読んだのは
3,000.
300冊くらいだ
There's no way dude is being serious.
一段落ついてしまったかな
I guess it reached a stopping point. Ugh. Minakami was an abnormally avid reader. There was a story he hadn't read. It was like he couldn't relax until he had the book. Even though I say he couldn't relax, it wasn't like he would fly into a frenzy or anything. He found a story he didn't know. He would gently take it in his hands, head to the register, and pay. And pay. And pay. Then he'd sell it back once he was done reading. That was all. Has he... I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, but have you ever heard of a library? First glance, he seemed to be a casual reader. How? Does he look like a casual reader? But reading every book in the Imperial University's library was definitely abnormal. I bet he has a disorder.
そういえば川瀬に批評をもらうとか言ってただろ
Oh
今日は
no.
どうだった
He tore it apart.
散々だ
Deserved.
ったよ
I bet he was scared of the Phantom so much that he couldn't bear to look at the story any longer. Phantom's scary, man.
散々一体何が気に入らなかったんだろう
Minakemi looked thoroughly confused. Unable to bear seeing his face like that, I immediately averted my gaze. He didn't think there was such thing as a poor piece of literature or writing. That's why he wouldn't hold back with his praise for me. Honestly, when I realized that, I had wondered if it was really okay to find comfort in that ambiguity. I recently had been asking that brute Kawase for his critiques. Kawase was the whip? What do you mean? What kind of... What? Minakami was candy. What correlation do those two things have with each other? I am so confused. He was a candy sweeter than Calspeed. Calspeed? What? What my wounded ego needed right now was that sweet candy named Minakami. Okay, that's not gay at all. I need that piping hot piece of candy named Minakami. Yeah!
明日の昼、川瀬が梅鉢堂に来ること
Who
になった。
says that?
だからお前も来い。そして川瀬に行って聞かせるのだ。
I should put her on auto mode, but I don't want to like skip way too slow or way too fast.
何をだ
Peace of my mind.
私の輝かざる才能についてだ。お前が言えば、奴も少しは私を見返すかもしれん。
すまん。明日の昼は講義があって、そう多くは時間を。
私の言うことが聞けないのか
You're not going to do what I say? How dare he?
嫌に
You're that desperate, huh?
講義の合間に行けたら行くよ。
いいや、必ず。
You will come. You will do it.
だから行けたら。
必ず来い。
You will come.
そう不安があるんだよ。
Don't get in a tizzy. I wasn't in a tizzy at all. I was just lonely. It's kind of relatable. I get him. We're both
玉森らしく
weird.
ないな。
This isn't like you. ...
これでも読んで元気出せ。
Minakami said as he handed me the last book in his hand. Wondering what it was, I took a look at the cover. It was Kayusako Yumino's Dogra Magra. What kind of name is that?
店の商品を借りっぱなしじゃ悪いからな。読み終わったら商品として並べてくれて構わない。新作だから高値をつけてもいいんじゃないか
Oh, so he's giving him a book? Even though he works at a freaking bookstore?
いらん、持って帰れ。
Rude! I would accept his gift with heartfelt praise.
どうしてだ喜ぶと思った
How dare he?
私は今忙しいのだ。
You're busy?
他人の無双など見ていられん。
You're busy doing what? Killing your goldfish? Writing that terrible manuscript with the phantom?
そうか残念だな
でおい、勝手に商品に混ぜるな。
Just let him.
バレたか
You caught me? Wow, he's a rebel. You calmly put it on the shelf right in front of me. I was so irritable today, I couldn't even get through Minakami's little joke. I went back to the register and slumped over so far that I ended up lying across the counter. I saw a single piece of paper flutter down from my slanted point of view. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was written on it in bold print. Finally, a title I know! I peeled it off the desk, lifting it high above my head out of reflex.
震える悪魔って。
ずっと見たがっていただろう
再上映されるのか。
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was a horror film. The main characters were a man named Dr. Jekyll and his other personality Hyde. I never would have guessed! It showed at the Nikatsu Theater in Kanda last spring, but I missed its run, and now it was here. I couldn't believe Toyo Cinema was rerunning it. I checked the date and time. It would be playing tomorrow afternoon. Oh boy! Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, tomorrow afternoon, oh boy! Didn't seem to be some sort of cruel joke either. Why would it be a joke?
奥さんから招待券をいただいたんだご婦人方は怪奇映画に興味がないそうだ
Wow. Why is he stereotyping women like that? Personally, I would never.
そりゃそうだ。女子供にはわからないよ。
Women would never understand the pain I go through.
けどお前が忙しいんじゃな
行かない理由がない。
I thrust the ticket deep into my sleeve. Has he never heard of a pocket? Your sleeve? It's a date. What the heck? Okay, Steve. Minakami was shocked by how enthusiastically I made up my mind, but he just smiled and nodded.
そう言うと思ったよ明日の夜 東洋記念まで待ち合わせでいいか？
Oh, it's a date! Minakami folded his cloth and stuffed it into his bag, then put on his still damp mantle.
もう行くのか？
He's leaving already? No!
デートに古い友人が来ているんだ。これから会いに行ってくる。
私の知り合いか？
Not everything revolves around you.
ああ、いや。どうだろう。
どうだろう。
You don't think so? How dare he assume things like that? We were old friends. So didn't that mean they were just normal acquaintances? But Minakami would say nothing more about it, so I stopped pressing him. You're trying to show off again. I wasn't sure if he heard my grumbling, but he opened his umbrella and smiled even wider.
勉強も頑張れよ。
He's kinda cool.
田舎に残した
Why
ば
is
あ
he
さん
going
の
so
ために
soon? For the grandmother you left back home in the country. Okay, Lorda. That has nothing to do with this. I was going to throw out my usual comeback, but instantly fell silent. As if he seen through it, Minakami furrowed his brows, but immediately hid behind the edge of his umbrella. Then, like a falling leaf, he swiftly passed me and disappeared. Minakami was gone. He's gone already? No. All that remained was the sound of the rain. Okay. Thought he was that sweet piece of candy you wanted. Still, he always left this strange, lingering presence. Maybe he himself didn't realize how unusual it felt. Must have been something only I noticed. Minakami never said goodbye. His departures were always vague. Made me think he would suddenly show up again if I called his name. Call his name! Call his name! I was probably the only one who noticed that. But keep up with my studies, huh? I rested my cheek against the counter again and flipped through a reference book Minakami had given me. It had been 2 years. Just looking at the old reference book made me realize that the time had gone by in the blink of an eye. I mentioned it before, but Kawase, Minakami, and I had come to the capital 2 years ago. Yeah, you mentioned it like 20 minutes ago, dude. We didn't forget. To say the capital had the finest education institute in Japan wouldn't have been an exaggeration. We came to take the Imperial University's entrance exam. Sorry. I had studied for it. You had studied for it? Even though I sometimes read fantasy novels and went to the movies, I'd studied ever so diligently all the time. Wow, he studies so much even though he does normal, entertaining things. But a year later, only Kawase and Minakami were accepted to the Imperial University. Wow, this guy's dumb. Well, he did almost suffocate his goldfish. Since I didn't think any of us would actually pass, I never dreamed I would be the only one to fail. Cause you're stupid. Oh wow, that's a pretty background. At the time, Minakami and I were under the care of a philanthropist named Oizumi. She was a widow who acted as if she didn't expect anything from us country bumpkins. Take as long as you like, she said. I had been moved by her words. But when it came to me, the one who didn't pass, she looked at me with blatant disgust. 2 years had gone by, and then this year, she had given me a final notice to vacate. She kicked me out of her house. What is this game even about? Why am I learning about this? She told me to be grateful she provided me with meals and a place to sleep. Like I cared. If you're going to act like a virtuous person, see it through the end. This guy's so greedy. Jeez. I provided food at home for my goldfish, but I didn't feel any bitterness towards him. You almost killed him. What is wrong? In fact, I wanted him to ask more of me. I was much more noble than she was. He's a goldfish! You wanted the goldfish to ask more of you? And the shopkeeper of Umbachido was even more noble.
玉森くん、ちょっと散歩してくる
I thought he was bedridden. What happened?
ああ、はい。
Ah.
店番お願いします。
I heard the back door open. His footsteps and muffled coughs melted into the sound of the rain. It had only been a month ago. I'd been driven out of the Oizumi house. I fled from her home. Rain like what we were having today beating down on me. Just say you got kicked out like a normal person. I'd had no money, no shelter. Sounds like a you problem. What had awaited me in the drizzle was Umbachido's large front doors. To get out of the rain, I pretended to look for books. When I let out a gloomy sigh, though, the shopkeeper had spoken to me from the back of the store. I was like a broken record that day. I tried to say something, but I couldn't answer. My voice just cracked. It was the only sound that I could get out. But the shopkeeper, with his calm voice full of understanding, had fixed the needle on my record and made me play it all out. He listened to how I had fled from my previous lodgings, to how I hadn't eaten anything for half a day. Oh, the horror! Half a day without any food is just unheard of. To how it had been more than a day since I— Ew! You didn't need to talk about that! And once he was done listening, he offered me a deal. Deal or no deal. If I ran the shop, he would rent out the room on the second floor to me. Shop was closed when it was sunny. Why? Why would it close when it was— what? He said he wanted me to open and run the shop only on rainy days. That's kind of stupid, honestly. Every morning, he would leave enough money for my meals for the day by the register. That was the only material exchange between us. That's right. I never seen the shop's owner. Not even once. What? What? Well, whatever. What do you mean you never seen the shop's owner? I went back to leaning my face against my hand and watching the scenery blurred by the rain outside. I was bored. Not really bored. I just couldn't muster any strength into my sluggish body. Oh, that's just like me every day. But I urged myself on, grabbed the feather duster, and wandered around the shop. Wow, he's a cleaning. Suddenly, I felt like I saw Kawase through the— oh, not this! Through the— it was definitely the image of the moment he dug his cigarette into my manuscript. Then, clear as day, I saw Kawase's vulgar smile. Ah, what is it? What did I do? Oh, wait, I opened the— oh, I scrolled up. Sigh! Me too, man. Me too. Apparently, I really was having a hard time dealing with his harsh criticism. I looked away from that moment and plopped onto the floor. Oh, cool CG. It was annoying. Way too annoying. Maybe it would have been better if a complete stranger had said that to me, but I'd have to keep facing him tomorrow and the day after. There was no way I could run from him now. I was the one who'd asked for his critique. It's been a while. I should save. How do you— is that it? Okay, there you go. As a writer, all I could do was continue spewing out stories. A writer? What sort of writer was I if I couldn't even satisfy a single person? Kawase's just a rude person. Get a better audience. Like that other guy with the closed eyes. Kawase holding me back was the reason I never considered taking anything to a publisher. Don't let him hold you back! He's a terrible person! There's probably nothing I could create that would ever captivate him. I'd probably never be able to write anything that would make the guy smile and tell me I'd done a good job. That's just his problem. He hates fun. I set my glasses on the top of my head and used the palms of my hands to rub my closed eyes. Stars scattered behind my eyelids, and unusual sparkling patterns formed. What kind of music is this? Okay, church. Yeah, what kind of demented church music is this? When I opened my eyes, the area had transformed into a strange blue dimension. I think you're seeing things, buddy. Who the heck is that? When I happened to look forward, I found this guy standing in the rain. Who the heck is that? I kind of dig this design, though. He looks so cool with the frog, with the leaf umbrella. It's so cute. Drops dramatically bounced off the leaf he was using as an umbrella. Dramatic, like... Okay, I'm not finishing that sentence. He seemed to be slowly thinking something over his head, while he held his breath in his stomach. It was as if he had made up his mind about something. You could tell all that from looking at him? All I could tell was that he was a weird-looking frog. Ah! What is that voice? Ducks, please! That was all the frog said. I love this guy. This is the best character by far. Why are you so rude to this poor little frog? What if someone said that to you? Said, no thanks, we don't accept manuscripts from strange creatures like you. Oh my god, a first grader frog, man. By the way, this kind of thing happened to me quite often. Then why are you acting like he's a strange creature? He should be considered your friend. I had the ability to see strange things for a long time. Strange things like that Kawase guy. Haha, good one. But this wasn't anything supernatural. It was illusion produced by my subconscious. Finally, the story is getting good. I like this frog guy. I hope he appears more. Honestly, there was a part of me that was a little disappointed this hallucination was only a frog. Don't say that to his face! You'll hurt his feelings! If his form had been more grotesque, this scene would have been much more dramatic. Give him the books! Why is he so mean? Okay, I don't like Tamamori anymore. This guy is so mean to this poor little frog. What? 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 Oh no, you made him uncomfortable! How dare he? Now, rest in peace. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. But what on earth was he talking about? I need to know more about that. The story was low-key a snooze fest for like the first part, but now it's getting good. It was strange. No matter how poor my creations may have been, in the moment, they seemed brilliant. When I'd asked Kawase about that phenomenon, he called it narcissism deprived from arrogance. He sure knows a lot about that, huh? He knows so much about that. It was definitely arrogance. Oh, poor frog. Those stupid eyes, those short legs, that nervously trembling body. I was starting to find the hallucination somewhat amusing. Oh, I've been angry for no reason. Suddenly, I was no longer myself. Indeed, the main character was. Right. The owner of a used bookstore, all by appearances, but he was secretly a medium? What is going on? It was a setup that made me think of a certain someone, but whatever. What is going on? Who the heck is that? The main character should be refined, composed, and wear glasses that make him look like an intellect. Then, he would shockingly use a hickish word like 8. What's wrong with 8? 8. Haruhiko's. Who? The frogman's eyes opened wide when he looked over at Haruhiko, the shopkeeper. No! No! No, the frog! Not that! Why? No! The poor frog! Look at what you've done! Why would you do that?
おかえりネガオ。ここは君の来る場所ではない。
But you killed the person. You just wanted to read some books and you killed him!
君にジンゴが読めるかね?
What is bro talking about? You just hurt the poor frog! Whoa.
あの人間に
That's a really good line, actually.
あの人間とは。
This game is so complex. Ah, not this stupid story again. Okay, let's read this. The tears the frogman cried turned into nourishment and replenished the moisture in his body. Plop. He rolled off the wall and took the defensive, turning his eyes tinged with rage towards Haruhiko. The frogman skillfully manipulated his tongue and began to push books off the shelf one by one. Not the books! Haruhiko's attacks and blocks were in vain as the tongue suddenly pierced through a bookcase. Books rained down from the falling bookcase. However, the decision Haruhiko made in that very instant was even more surprising. Oh, wow. That is some pretty art. No, why is it gone?
あの
Question mark. What the heck? When I suddenly snapped out of it, I was lying on the floor grasping a pen. Before me was a manuscript I was in the middle of writing. Perhaps because I was writing before the ink could dry, there were several letters smudged to the left. Apparently, I had been a little overzealous. I counted the scattered manuscript pages as I gathered them up, but I was missing the first page. When I happened to turn around, a man was looking down on me, concerned. Ah, who is that?
大丈夫ですか？
I was not expecting that voice. Okay, yeah, like the guys all look the same, okay? Kawase is like a normal looking one, and then the other guy has closed eyes, and now this guy has an eye patch. Like, they all had open, normal eyes. They'd just be the same exact character. You guys get what I'm saying? Good.
ええ、大丈夫です。私は無事です。
He's rocking that eye patch, though.
無事？これ足元に落ちていました。ありがとう。
Wonder what happened to his eye, though. Or he just wears that to look cool and edgy. I hope it's the latter. He was still standing there.
何か？
What?
ごめんなさい。
No! He jumped back and put some distance between us. He looked at me and scratched his eye patch as if he were embarrassed. Oh, I'm liking this guy already. He got like 3 lines, but I'm vibing with him. Once I got a better look, I recognized him. He was a customer who always came in the evening. That meant that half of the day had already passed. Ah, I let out a directionless sigh. The man seemed to misunderstand and jumped a bit.
君は作家さんなんですね。
He's cute. I'm sorry. You got a problem? Why is he so aggressive? He really is taking after Kawase.
そんな。落ちている原稿少し。
He read about the poor little frog that got completely destroyed by the Tamamori.
悪気はないんです。ただ目について。すみません。面白かったです。それでこの私に何をですか？
Would it hurt you to be a little kinder to this poor guy?
これをお会計してもらいたくて。
In his hand was Kayusaku's Dogma Magra. Wow. That's the book the other guy put on the shelf. It's already sold. He would be proud. Dang, Minakami. He had ended up shoving it onto the bookshelf after all.
それに関してお題はいりません。
I would not say that. I'd be so greedy.
でも結構真新しい本ですし。いいんです。欲しいなら黙って待ってください。
Shut up and take it. I think I'm gonna end the recording soon, but this has been fun so far.
ありがとうございます。それじゃあご好意に甘えて。
What an overly dramatic guy. He continued to stand there, nervously wringing his hands and biting his lip. He's just like me. He's kind of real, actually. I slipped past him and returned to the register. He looked at me as if he had still had something to say.
何なんですかさっきから。
Why is he so mean? This guy didn't do anything wrong. He was just treating him like a freak.
6時には店を閉めますよ。その物々交換
A trade?
どうですか？
Bro thinks we're an Animal Jam. I'll trade him like 5 spikes for his eye patch, to be honest. So that's what he decided to say? He slowly opened his bag and pulled out some sort of goldfish watering can made of tin. A goldfish watering can?! I didn't expect him to place it by the register with a clunk. Oh my gosh, that's so cute! Look at it! My god, I'd buy like 10 copies of it if it were real.
僕ブリキの収集が趣味で
Oh my god, he's so cool! Not to the point where you carry them around though, right?
ごめんなさい気持ち悪いですよねいきなりこんなこと
No, it's not
ごめんな
creepy!
さい
I like this guy. He's my favorite so far.
ごめんなさい
Way better than
気持ち悪
Kawase
く
and
てごめん
Minakami.
なさい
No, you aren't creepy! Stop! It was rude! What I was thinking must have gotten through to him. We should kill the pro tag. Once he called down, his face turned red and he ran out of Umbachido. Huh. The only ones left were me and the goldfish watering can. The goldfish watering can. I like that. My buddy and me received 10 goldfish watering cans. I love how there's an achievement for that. What was that about? Let out a sigh as I looked into the goldfish's pretty eyes. The sigh, though, was unrelated.
鬼人だな
Rude. Anyway, I managed to finish a short story about a heroic battle between a used bookstore owner and a yokai. Yokai watch reference? No way. I gathered the bulky manuscript and looked it over fondly. But for some reason, my face began to fall as I turned each page. Suddenly, it seemed boring. You're finally realizing it! I'm so proud! I figured Minakemi would definitely enjoy it, since his tastes were closer to my own, but I mostly wondered how Kawase would feel about it. Yeah, I should probably avoid showing it to Kawase. You should avoid showing everything to Kawase. That dude is ruthless. That one time he turned his story into a paper airplane. I turned the manuscript over and put the ink bottle on top of it as a weight. It was something like a gut feeling. For some reason, my suddenly cooled fervor made my heart feel as though it were crumbling to pieces. I wondered why. This was the first time I'd ever felt this way. At that moment, the cuckoo clock sleepily struck 6. It was closing time. Like, yeah, I think I'm gonna stop recording soon because it's been a while, I think. This has been fun so far. Characters have been pretty cool, except for Kawase Freak. He single-handedly tanked the game with his presence alone. And that weird waiter, what the heck was that scene about? Okay, I think I'll finish this thing. I don't know when the next scene will be, so... The rain was coming down even harder, and it was so cold I wondered if it would turn into snow. Chasing out the sound of the rain, I closed the doors, then looked around the shop once more. In the end, the only customer today had been that man with the eye patch. But he hadn't really bought anything, so I had no money to turn over to the shopkeeper. Actually, I never earned more money than what the shopkeeper gave me for food. That was another reason that Umbachido was a mysterious shop.
玉森くん、私は先に寝るよ。
帰ってきていたんですか
ええ、2時間ほど前にね。声をかけたじゃないか。
He said something to him?
そういえば
That's such a sick CG. I really like the art style of this game. Get away! It's dangerous here.
何かと戦っていたのかな。
What is bro talking about?
それじゃ、おやすみなさい。
Good night. The light clicked off.
私は風呂屋に行ってき
The
ます
bathhouse.
うん。風邪をひかないようにね。
As far as I could remember, the shopkeeper had never pressed me about money, not even once. In short, this place was heaven to an unscrupulous person such as myself. Who describes himself as unscrupulous? That's a big word. Ah, map! The map is so bright for no reason. Even though it was only 6 o'clock, the sky was totally dark thanks to the rainy weather. Everyone was deep under their umbrellas, while I was freezing under my black mantle. I should have at least worn long sleeves, but I'd ended up foolishly picking out a short-sleeved dress shirt, so it was freezing. Wow, loser. People who were weak to the cold weather gathered at Saru Sarugakucho's Kikai bathhouse. The old men passing me by smelled unreasonably of yuzu. What is yuzu? Ah! Naked people jump scare! Once I'd gone through the dressing room to the baths, the place was filled with nothing but old and middle-aged men. Ew. What looked like an old woman's head bobbed among them. Among us? I'm sorry. I took my place in the middle as I watched the old woman's head sway. Speaking of old women. Keep up with your studies. For the grandmother you left out in the country. I recalled Minakami's words. Not the story thing again. Ugh. It's a little late, but here's some background on my... Can I stop here? Okay, I'll stop after the background, okay? After the background, trust. It's a little late, but here's some background on myself. My father and mother died when I was young. Oh no. Right before I was born. My father was attacked by a bear and died. This is disventure camp levels of tragic backstory. Then, when I was young, my mother disappeared from our village. Oh, not the village! After that, I had lived with my grandfather and grandmother. Just the three of us. But last year, I found out my grandfather had passed away. Oh no! My grandmother was my only blood relative left on this earth. I felt like my grandmother and I were connected by some sort of spiritual power. If there was anything I wanted to eat or anything I desired, she knew exactly what it was and gave it to me right away. We were connected. Well, maybe not quite. Connection was only a one-way thing. I knew nothing about her. Even now, it felt like my grandmother was watching me from somewhere. That old lady in the bathhouse? Ah, the old woman turned around. It was an old man. Of course an old woman wouldn't be hanging out in the men's bath. Unless she was a freak, then yeah. I said I was gonna stop here, but it's been continuing on and on. Ah! When I turned around, my consciousness drifted towards the bathhouse Fuji that reached all the way to the ceiling. I'd heard the bathhouse Fuji, which was found in any old bathhouse nowadays, originated from Kikai bathhouse. Fuji's healing waters and the steam from the bath mixed together, making me feel like I was partaking in a purification ritual. It was a picturesque view no man could ever grow tired of seeing. When I happened to look over at the group of bathers to my side, they were turned away from that view of Mount Fuji, exchanging hushed whispers. I cocked my right ear to listen in for no reason in particular. Did you see? Did you hear? What? About the giant of Jimbocho. Giant? He's over 6 feet tall. Wow, you should put him on the NBA. Another one butted in. He doesn't use an umbrella. And he wears a funny mask. As soon as I spotted him, he vanished. He's weird looking. Is he a monster? Or a ghost? I see. How interesting. Maybe it was a silent street performer for a new kabuki show. Maybe some sort of promotion for a new motion picture. That earthquake earlier must have been from the giant's footsteps. Me when I spread misinformation on the internet. Idiot! No, it had to be. Person who's 6 feet tall. Footsteps. He had a pretty active imagination.
少年よ
Young man. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop here. It's been a while. Why is it not letting me save?
詳しくお聞かせ
Help.
願いたい
Okay, yeah, I'm stopping here. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be sure to post part 2 in like a few days or so. So be sure to keep an eye out for that if you want. Anyways, bye guys!